Hi, welcome to another CROCKtober 2022 video. This collaboration is being hosted by Jeni Gough of Jeni's Scratch Made Kitchen. I will have the link to her YouTube channel and this collaboration playlist in the description box below my video. Hi, welcome to my channel, Texas Country Wife. My name's Valerie. Today I am going to make for you my chicken taco meat. And we're going to do it in a crock pot. This is a different crock pot that I have. It'll do all kinds of things, but it'll work just as well. We'll be cooking this on low heat. Anyway, first off, you're going to need 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and I just took these out of the freezer. We'll be using those, but for right now I don't want to work with the raw meat, so we're going to set those aside. Okay. First off, we need 3/4 cup of Italian dressing. So I am going to make that. I prefer to make my own. So we're going to use one of these little packets. And you will need oil. I like to use my olive oil. And vinegar. I like to use apple cider vinegar. Now this is not the one with the mother. This is the cheaper one. But for salad dressing, that's okay. And in order to make this salad dressing, you need to have 1/2 cup of oil, which we are going to measure out, and 1/4 cup of vinegar. So let's get our 1/2 cup of oil. Now you can use any type of oil that you like, avocado oil, vegetable oil, canola oil. I just like to use olive oil for salad dressings. Okay, so that's that. And then like I said, then we need 1/4 cup of vinegar, and then it'll be 3 tablespoons of water. Okay, so I have my 1/2 cup of oil. I'm going to go ahead and add the 1/4 cup of vinegar, which will bring this up to the 3/4 fill line. Okay, almost. If you go over a little bit or under, it's okay. So now we've got our vinegar in there. Now we need 3 tablespoons of water. Let me get out my basket of gadgets. I forgot to grab a tablespoon. Yes, I keep all my measuring devices in a basket with a little towel over them. And keep them clean and sanitary, and I keep them on the shelf of my work cart. Okay, and y'all know our water here is not very good, so I use filtered water. And for the video, I went ahead and got some of that. So now we need 3 tablespoons of water, and I just go ahead and pour that into my measuring cup also. Okay, 3 tablespoons of water. I'm going to need my water again, so we're going to set him there. Now, I keep jars. This was a spaghetti sauce jar. I love this thing. It's also got measurements on it. But I don't think that it's got cup measurements on it. They're all like ounces and so on and so forth. I just found it easier to use this. So we're going to pour this in here. Just like so. Okay, now we're going to hang on to this though, because I need to measure out 3/4 cup of this dressing. Alright, and in goes the little packet. Now if you're going to do this in a jar, you want to make sure that your jar does have a lid that secures well so you don't slosh dressing everywhere when you shake this jar. Okay, we're going to shake this really good to incorporate that. And I just always press down on the lid just in case. I just want to do this for like 30 to 60 seconds. Get that all good and incorporated. Make sure that that powder doesn't have any lumps in it. And that's how you make a homemade Italian dressing. Super fast. And these packets, I got these at H-E-B, the Hill Country Fair. There were 4 packets in here. They were on sale. That's my last one, so he needs to go on the shopping list again. So that should tell you how often we make dressing. Okay, now we're going to measure out 3/4 cup of this dressing. And we're going to set it to the side. Okay, just like that. Now the rest of this is going to go in my fridge. Put them away right now. Okay. Now I don't have to worry about that. Now, I'm going to get out the great big one because we want to mix all of these things together. In here, you want to pour 1/2 cup of water. So let's do that right now. And there's half a cup of water. Now we're going to add our 3/4 cup of Italian dressing to that. And this is going to be what goes over the chicken to be cooked. All right, then you need 1½ teaspoons each of ground cumin. We're going to get this in here. Oh, this is smelling good already. Italian dressing, homemade. So there's 1, and there's 1/2 of ground cumin. This makes the best chicken tacos in the world. You can ask my guys. They would rather have this than salsa chicken any day of the week. Now, one thing you do want to know with this, I have tried it with boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and it does not taste the same. Please make sure that you use boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I mean, you can use chicken breasts. The flavor profile is completely different, and I find that it tends to be a little bit more dry. All right, so there was our 1½ teaspoons of chili powder. And now I need 1½ teaspoons of minced garlic. So I've got these little guys here. But my garlic was getting a little bit old and a little bit dry on the ends here. So I just want to clip those off real quick. I don't want to have that in my chicken taco meat. And some of these guys were little and some of these guys were big. So there's the garlic we're going to be using. I'm just going to go ahead and mince these all up into this container, and then we will measure out the 1½ teaspoons. You guys probably want to see this. So I'm going to load this up. And there's a slicer and there's a mincer on this. We want to mince it. Oh, will my hands do this today? The world may never know. Yep, got it. Okay, and then you just use your knife to kind of scrape that off of there. Okay, oh, I hope I got enough garlic here. Well, that mashed down inside of there. I think that was part of the peel. I might have missed some of the peel. Yeah, I missed part of the peel. We're going to take that out of there. We don't want that in our chicken. Okay, and then I've got another one here. And another one. And just go ahead and take that off there with your knife. And this feels too like I might have gotten, I guess I didn't get all the peel off, but that's okay. It's all right. Boy, this is not working out so good. Maybe I should have minced this before I got on camera. I'm sorry, y'all. Hang on a minute. Okay. Well, we're going to make do with this, being I'm recording. I'm going to measure it and see how much more I need, and I'll get some in here in a little bit. Because it looks like, well, no, there's a teaspoon. I think I got enough. And there's a 1/2 teaspoon. I might just put one more clove in there. That can wait. Let me get this mess out of the way. And we're going to continue on. So make sure you've got 1½ teaspoons of minced garlic. I'll get one more clove in there, like I said. Then you need 1 packet of ranch dressing mix. And again, buying it in these little boxes is so economical. It doesn't cost as much. And especially if you can get the generic, because honestly, I think they all taste the same. I also want to look into making my own. So we're going to put this in here. You want to get all of these done first before you start messing with your raw meat. That way you don't contaminate any of your things. I'm just going to grab my tablespoon measuring spoon and we're going to stir that around really good until everything is dissolved. Oh, that's smelling wonderful. And I know, you're probably like thinking to yourself, Italian dressing for a Mexican food. Yes. You'd be surprised, but a lot of really good, authentic Mexican cooking uses a lot of Italian herbs. And if you can get hold of any Mexican oregano, I highly advise it. It is so good, and it's got different flavor profile than Italian oregano does, or regular oregano. The Mexican oregano really can change things up for you. Okay, and that's not completely dissolved. Some of the powders are still little clumps, but it'll be okay. I would suggest probably using a whisk, but I don't have one over here with me. It'll still cook down. It'll be okay, because I'll come in here and stir this a couple times today while it's cooking. Okay, let me move these out of the way. And let's get this down here. Let me get my recipe card out of the way. That way you can see what happens here. Are we good? Okay, so I am going to take and open up these boneless, skinless chicken thighs. They are frozen, that's fine. This is 1 pound, maybe a little bit more, it's okay. We will eat this. What we don't eat, you can freeze and reheat for later also. And trust me, once you make this, you're always gonna wanna make extra to have on hand for a quick, easy meal night. So it looks to me like I had 3 thighs in each of these packages. They were pretty big, and that equaled 1 pound in each package. All right, we've got those in there. I'm gonna give this one more quick stir, and we're just gonna pour this over it. It's so easy, it's so fast, it's so simple. Okay, now you're just gonna pour it over it. And I know it probably doesn't look to you like it's gonna be enough liquid, but remember that chicken was frozen. I mean, you can use fresh, and you will still probably have the same amount of liquid because chicken does make its own broth, especially chicken thighs. Okay, now we are going to use our fingers that didn't get dirty, pick this guy up. Oh, it smells so good in here. The guys are going to be happy tonight. Okay, and put that in there. We're going to put our lid on. We are going to plug it in. We are going to set this on, whoops, I'm getting dressing on me because I'm messy but good. Okay, slow cook low. There we go. And this needs to cook on low for 4 to 8 hours, just depending on, of course, your own crock pot. They all run a little different. They all cook a little differently. But we're going to start on low for 4 hours and come back and check this. I will show you in 1 second. For me, it'll be 4 hours. I just wanted to take you in here and show you a close-up really quick of what this looks like inside the crock pot before it gets heated up. It smells so good. I am looking forward to serving this to my family tonight and seeing their happy faces. Okay, see you in 1 second to show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, we have our chicken taco meat going over here. It'll be done in 4 hours. That means I don't have enough time today to cook beans from dry. However, this recipe of mine for my Texas pinto beans can be done from a jar or a can of beans that are already cooked, or you can do them from dry. The amount of cook time will vary and how much water you will add. I will leave the instructions on how to do either one in the description box below this video. Let's get started. Okay, I canned some pinto beans the other day because I needed to have one more jar in my canner to fill it up. So we're going to use these because I want my jar back, and we're having tacos. We want some Texas pinto beans to go on the side. Let me find the spot on my jar where there is not a glass rim. That would be right back here. I'm going to put my handy dandy butter knife over that. And we're going to slowly pop the seal. There we go. Now I can reuse that lid again. Yeah, I don't know how many times I've used this lid, and that's okay. It's still working. Okay, so there is the jar of pinto beans. That is 1 quart. We're going to dump all that in there. Oh, those smell good. And again, these were just canned with water. It was just pinto beans and water in my pressure canner. Okay, now to this, we want to add, and this is a 1 teaspoon, etc. recipe. It's 1 teaspoon all the way. So, you're going to use 1 teaspoon of salt. That goes in there. You're going to use 1 teaspoon of chili powder. This is going in here. This is so simple and so delicious. And cooking it in the crock pot on low develops all those flavors. It makes sure that your beans are tender. This is 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. That's going in there. You want 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. That's going in there. And 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Smelling delicious already. Dinner's gonna be so good tonight. Okay, now you want a can of diced green chilies. If I was doing a great big dry bag of beans, I would use the whole can. I'm not. I'm only using 1 quart of beans. So we're only going to use half of this can. Now what you can do with this, if you don't anticipate using the rest of it within 3 or 4 days, is you can put this into a little Ziploc bag or a freezer safe container and throw it in the freezer, and then you have it for something else. We like it in omelets. We like it with Mexican foods. We like it in Mexican rice. It can be used for anything. So as you can see, I've only used half a can of those diced green chilies. Now you just want to stir this all together very gently so you don't break up your beans. Oh, I almost forgot the water. Okay, we need to add a cup of water. I've got my jug of water here. And we're going to pour out a cup of water. There we go. Now these beans will have a lot of liquid to them right now, but they will absorb it. They will cook down. And I don't know, this also kind of serves as a nice little side dish with a little bit of broth in it. You can dip a soft tortilla into it. It's really good. Oh, I wish you could smell this, and it's not even hot yet. All right, let me show you what this looks like. Okay, well, let's try this another way. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And we're going to get this set on low because these are already cooked. If these were raw dry beans, we'd put this on high, but they're not. They're already cooked. So we're going to put this on low, and it's going to cook for 4 hours. It's a crock pot supper. You can't beat it. I don't have a plug here. He's going to have to sit somewhere else. So we'll be back in a second for you, 4 hours for me. So I just want to give y'all a close-up of this crock pot full of beans and chilies and seasonings to show you what it looks like before we get to cooking. And here's that little Ziploc container that I was telling you about. See, it's so small. It fits right in the palm of my hand. These are great for storing, things of little leftovers in. See, it's a Ziploc. I think these came in either a 6 or an 8 or a 12 pack. I can't even remember. I got them a few years ago at Walmart through online grocery pickup. And now I can put that in my fridge. And if I haven't used it in 2 days, I'll just pop it in the freezer. And in this particular crock pot on the low setting, this chicken was done in 4 hours. It turned out beautiful and delicious. Now, using 2 forks on a cutting board, you can shred the chicken. You will then want to place the meat back into the crock pot with the liquid. Okay, there we go. I got all of that meat shredded up back into the liquid. And we're going to return it over to the crock pot base and keep it on warm until it's time for dinner. Please do let this meat sit in this liquid for at least 10 to 15 minutes after you shred it, so it can soak up all that yummy, wonderful liquid goodness. And then when I go to serve it, I use a ladle like this so that you can strain the juices out of it. And let the juices drip down back into the pot. That way you don't have a soupy, messy taco. And then you can go one step further if you want and then put this meat here into a strainer. But don't dump this liquid down the sink, because here's another tip. Later on, you can make a wonderful, delicious taco soup out of what's left from this meat and this liquid. Absolutely fabulous. Alright, let's get this back in the base and keep it on warm until dinner time. Okay, and I've moved my crock pot over here on a hot pad to show you guys this, because the light over where I had to set my crock pot is pretty dark. I'm going to put it back in the base now and put it on warm. These beans are done. They're ready to eat. And we can either have this as a little bowl of Mexican bean soup on the side, or we can use a strainer and put them on our tacos, or put them on top of rice. Sorry about the steam getting y'all. Yeah, these were some of the darkest pinto beans I have ever seen. Crazy, super dark brown. So, anyway, there is the Texas pinto beans. They smell wonderful. Let me get this back in the base to keep them warm until dinner. Okay, there you have it. There is my chicken taco meat on my soft tortilla. Delicious. I put some cheddar cheese on there and some sour cream and some diced tomato. I'm kind of weird. I don't like lettuce on my tacos. But actually, you want to taste this chicken on this. This is so good. It's got such a good flavor and my house smells wonderful. Sometimes I'll just eat that chicken just on a tortilla with a little bit of cheese and I won't even put anything else on it. It's so good. You can also put it in casseroles. It's fabulous for a Tex-Mex casserole. And then here's a little bowl of those beans. And like I told you, those pinto beans were really dark brown. I'd never seen any that brown. But they smell good, and I'm sure they will taste good. And then I've got some chips. And this is dinner. The carousel rotating plate. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video for CROCKtober 2022. I've enjoyed making it. I've enjoyed participating. Below my video, in the description box, I will have a link to Jeni's YouTube page, and I will also have a link to the CROCKtober 2022 collaboration playlist. I appreciate you watching. Thank you. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Have a great night. We're going to go eat.